What's going on? Welcome to another vlog with your boy Chris. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the family. I appreciate you. Thank you. If you're not new, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the family. I appreciate you as well. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe, and turn on your bell notifications. I think it's over here if I'm not mistaken. All right. On that note, let's get into, woo, that was smooth. Let's get into Dreamers versus Optimists. All right. So a dreamer versus an optimist. Dreamers tend to, and just as a side note, I used to be a dreamer, and I'll get into when I was and why I was, but dreamers tend to think that life is perfect and that there's not any setbacks. Note the dreamer chart. The reality is that there's always going to be setbacks, whether large or small, mistakes that you make, things that happen that are out of your control, whatever the case is, stuff that somebody else does, anything. There's so many different things that can be as a setback. Like, they can also be a setback at the start and propel you forward 10 times faster after they pass, right? So I was a dreamer until I lost everything and I had to restart life. And I've spoken about that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch my previous vlogs because I've talked about it so many times. But I was a dreamer till then. I thought that I didn't think that there was ever going to be setbacks. I thought, like, oh, you know what, like, I'm killing it in trading now. I'm doing everything I have to do, like mentally, physically. I'm working out. Actually, I wasn't really working out as much as I do now, but I was still taking care of myself. I didn't prepare for setbacks. I didn't think there was gonna be any setbacks. I just thought that it was just gonna be like keep climbing straight up the way it was going and that nothing could ever go wrong. And then the universe was like, whoa there, slow down, buckaroo. Slapped me around a few times, picked me up, flipped me upside down, threw me on the ground. Did its usual shit when it's teaching you some life lessons. And after that, I became an optimist. And I was always like an optimist, but I was more of a dreamer before. And I would say I'm definitely, after that, I just became an optimist. And I started to transfer over to being an optimist a little bit when I had come across one of my mentors, Dr. John Demartini. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen me post about him a lot. I kind of lost touch with that after I started doing well with trading, and I kind of went back to just being a dreamer and living in La La Land and stuff like that. So after I got the shit kicked out of me and I had to restart life, I became an optimist, and I learned that there was going to be other struggles along the way. There was going to be other setbacks along the way. I've dealt with setbacks the last few months with business and just other aspects of life that they don't faze me the way they would have a few years ago, because a few years ago I would have never expected things like that to happen. Right now I just, like, when something happens, especially if it's out of my control, I don't really stress about it, and I just let it unfold the way that it's supposed to and the way that the universe obviously wants it to unfold, and I go with the flow. I do whatever I can to make a situation better, and that's all that you really have the power to do, right? So I'm always an optimist. I've learned from my mentor, Dr. John Demartini, that we never have lack in life, whether it's love or just any aspect of life. We're never really lacking. It's just our perception of things, right? It's kind of like a battery. A battery has two sides. It has a positive and a negative. So for every negative thing that's going on in your life, or the thing that you think is negative, is actually has a positive and equal balancing effect that's going on somewhere else in your life that you don't really see and that you're blind to just because you're clouded from the negativity that's going on. And vice versa with the positive. For every positive that's happening, you're making more money, you're gonna have more responsibilities, more stresses to deal with, you're probably gonna take on more than you were before, so on and so forth. So there's always a positive and a negative to everything. There's a positive and a negative to sinks, hot and cold, light switches, batteries, literally everything. Everything in life has a positive and a negative, and they're always in complete balance, and it's only our perception and perspective of things that dictates what we see, what we let bother us, or what we become infatuated with, or what we become depressed about, or whatever the case is. So the sooner you can really take control of your thoughts and understand what's going on, why it's going on, and is there a positive that's that's balancing out this negative? Well, not if is there, where is the positive that's balancing out this negative, and where is the negative that's balancing out all this positive and abundance and this and that that's coming in, right? Because there's always, I promise you, there's always one balancing out the other. We're just usually blind to one or the other. If we're experiencing a lot of positives, we're blind to the negatives or the other things that are on the other side that are going on, because we're so infatuated with what's going on. And if we're dealing with negative stuff, more often than not, people are very depressed and upset about the negativity, so they don't see the positives that are balancing out. And like losing, like perfect example is breaking up with someone. Oh my god, they broke up with me, or oh my god, I can't believe I ended that relationship and I left that person, or this, that, the other. But like, now you're gonna have so much more time to work on yourself. You're gonna be able to go out and experience new things that you couldn't have done if you were in a relationship. You're gonna be able to go out and meet new people. You're gonna experience new things in life. Meeting new people is gonna bring wisdom that you may have not experienced and been able to attract before, because you were in a relationship and maybe you were closed off and you didn't let new people around, or you just didn't converse with people, or whatever the case is. So there's always a positive and a negative for everything. It just takes us to figure it out. When you're an optimist, I find that you enjoy the journey more. You tend to be a lot more present in the moment and be just more aware of what's going on around you. Whereas when I was a dreamer, I was always focused on the next step. I was never present in the moment. I was never focused on what was actually going on in the moment and enjoying it and just really soaking it in and just being present in the moment. I was always living for what was next, as opposed to just living for the moment. Because realistically, the future doesn't really exist. The past doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is the present moment. The rest is just our imagination and what we create it to be, right? So it's kind of like a fantasy land, if you will. And then once you end up getting to the finish line, you end up realizing that you didn't really enjoy the process from the start to the finish line. Sorry for my chapped ass lips. You didn't really enjoy the process from the start to finish, and because of that, you kind of just floated through the whole experience and didn't absorb as much as you could have or should have to take on to the next journey or next lesson in life, right? There's never lack in any area of our life. It just takes us digging down deep inside and figuring out where we feel like there's lack and what is actually making up for what we think we're lacking in life, whether it's love, happiness, affection, money, passion, anything. Whatever you feel like you're lacking in life, I can promise you in some other area of life it's being made up for that you're just not aware of. So I implore you to go and discover that and go journal about it. Not figure it out, but just balance your perception and perspectives with positives and negatives that are going on in your life. But I just drew up a little diagram here of what a dreamer's fantasy land looks like versus what the reality of an optimist looks like. A dreamer, obviously, they just think that life is gonna go bullish and that there's not gonna be anything. It's kind of like a trading chart, right? The dreamer thinks that the chart's just gonna go straight up and life's just gonna, like a fucking SpaceX rocket or something. It's just gonna go right to the moon and that's it. There's no turning back. Meanwhile, in reality, it's the optimist side that you wanna be striving for and really experiencing and being present with the journey, where there's ups, there's downs. You're gonna make a new high and then you're gonna go back to the low that you were at before, and you're gonna experience a hard time, and then you're gonna push past so many different levels and then plateau a little bit and then push to a new level and then come back to that previous level, and so on and so forth. And you're just gonna experience highs and lows. But overall, there's nothing wrong with experiencing highs and lows as long as the overall chart flow is going bullish and upward, right? Which is that's being an optimist, just understanding that with every bad time that you come back down, there's gonna be a good time that propels you 10 times further than you were before, right? So being aware of that, being understanding to that, and just always being present in the moment, being grateful for the moment, being grateful for what you've been given, the opportunities you've been given, being given life to be able to have internet and have a smartphone or a computer to be able to watch these videos and communicate with your friends, your family, and have food on your table and have clothes on your back and have a roof over your head, and everything that you're given in life that we take for granted for on a daily basis. Just express gratitude for it, journal about it, give thanks for everything that you're given on a daily basis, the good times, the bad times, and everything in between. And I promise you that life will become so much better for you. Your perspective on everything will become so much more clear and just you'll have a more positive and just higher vibration that you're living your life with, that will in turn bring more abundance and more gratitude, and it's just like a ripple effect and so on and so forth. So I hope that some of you take this time now to go and journal and just learn more about yourselves and figure out what hard times you're going through and what positives there is in life that are balancing it out, and so on and so forth, and just really get a perspective as to where you are in life. Be present in the moment. Always be grateful for everything that you have, because one day, God forbid, you don't have it anymore, I can promise you that you're gonna pray to have it back. On that note, I hope you enjoyed today's vlog. I hope it was informative, educational. I hope you subscribe to the channel so we can get it up to 10K. I love you guys. Thank you guys for joining me on another vlog, and I will see you later on this week. Peace. All right.